Hi, my name is Courtney Russell, and this presentation is on monism or materialism and the rejection of dualism in behavior analysis. The article Some Fundamentals of B.F. Skinner's Behaviorism by Dennis J. Del Prado and Brian D. Midgley describes 12 fundamental features of Skinner's behaviorism. Other than monism or materialism, some other features that are described are the purpose of science, determinism, consequential causality, and there are many more. But we are going to be discussing materialism or monism. What is material monism? Monism states that there is one world and that world is physical. The physical world, or we could call it the physical realm, consists of both observable public events and private mental events. These public and mental or private events, they vary in states and their relationship to the environment, but they do share the same physical dimensions, and this is going to be the basis of monism. Why is material monism important? The major assumption is that the physical realm extends in time and space and can be observed and measured. In B.F. Skinner's book about behaviorism, we learn that probable, perceptual, past, covert, and future behavior are all functions of one's own physical body. There's no denying that these are all internal behaviors and are happening within the body, but they still share those same physical dimensions. This is important when we look at behavior as a science. Skinner states that the primary goals of science are description, prediction, and control. If we were to accept that there is a non-physical realm, then the behavior stated above would not be able to be uniformly measured, and therefore we would not be able to reach those primary goals of science. We can give a name to the events or behaviors discussed in the previous slide, and that name is private events. These are events taking place within an organism's body. These are observable, but only to the individual experiencing the event. We can split behavior into two groups: overt behavior, that is public events, and covert behavior, that's private events. Now we will discuss dualism, and we'll start with René Descartes, who was a French mathematician, scientist, and philosopher in the 17th century. His ideas can be condensed into Cartesian dualism. This states that the world consists of two fundamental realms, that is the physical and the non-physical. The physical realm consists of the body, or that which is made up of matter. The non-physical realm is the mind or the spirit. Descartes states that our thinking mind, or the non-physical realm, is separated from the body, or the physical realm. Some fallacies of dualism are: number one, that we are unable to scientifically prove dualism's concepts. This means that if there are unobservable, non-physical events happening in a non-physical realm, then we can't prove that this non-physical realm exists. Another fallacy is that dualism leads to weaker applications of knowledge, or as Skinner states, impedes effective analysis. I view this as saying that we have a non-physical, non-observable, non-measurable realm to fall back on if we're having trouble describing or making sense of behavior. Something I thought that was really interesting was the impact of multimedia, specifically movies, in dualism. So below I have Inception and I have The Matrix, and this quote that I have is from an article on dualism in education, and it states that the mind is distinct, separate, and in need of liberation from the prison of the body whose stimuli cannot be trusted. And this is what is represented in these movies. And there's so many more, and they're very entertaining, and they're really fun to think about. But when we are looking at monism versus dualism, these movies are fiction, and they cannot be proven. So this, again, supports the fallacies and the idea of monism compared to dualism. Before there was monism versus dualism, there was the mind-body problem. The mind-body problem seeks an explanation of how mental states and physical states are related to one another. Its origins are in philosophy in the 17th century, but as we see now in behavior analysis, the mind-body problem is subject of research programs in cognitive and neural sciences. In the next slide, you can take a look at the graph that is comparing the ideas throughout the spectrum from dualism to monism. So you could take a look at that and get an overall idea of the mind-body problem throughout the years. In conclusion, we'll look at the importance of material monism in behavior analysis. Behavior analysis examines observable and measurable behavior-environment relations. When we look at monism, this means that public events and those private events that we talked about, those that are happening within an individual's body, they're all part of the physical world. They're all physical, observable, and measurable, even if that means they're only observable to the individual experiencing them. So this is a quote from Skinner from the Del Prado and Midgley article. This says, "The task of a scientific analysis is to explain how the behavior of a person as a physical system is related to the conditions under which the human species evolved and the conditions under which the individual lives." Behavior analysis seeks to see behavior as a science. It allows behavior analysts to predict and control an individual's behavior, and this is by manipulating environmental conditions. We can do this because we see behavior, which is everything an organism does, as part of the physical world. And because of this, we can observe and measure behavior and make sense of it in a scientific and proven way. Thank you for watching and listening.